The heritage and roots of the iconic Explorer 1 have been explained and told in magnificent fashion by people like Adrian Barker and TGV. Check them out if you haven't. In this video, I'll share my wearing experience after a month of regular wrist time. I'll also share other details that might be of interest to you as a viewer, and perhaps future buyer, both negative and positive. The Explorer 1. Taboo? As with all my reviews, this will also be finished off with the concluding reviewers column. Will it match my previous reviews? Let's explore. Alright, I'm Cohan and I'm looking forward to sharing my experience with the Explorer 114270. Let's get the important basics out of the way. The Explorer 1 114270. The 114270 is rather similar to its predecessor, the 14270 in design, but showcases an updated interior as well as a few minor exterior tweaks, like for example, removal of the lug holes. Its production run was quite short, lasting for approximately 9 years, 2001 to 2010. The timepiece houses a great in-house movement, the caliber 3130, beating at 4 Hz, including a power reserve of 48 hours. The end links received some muscle and leveled up a notch and became solid, while the lume got upgraded to Super Luminova. Fact: the easiest way to separate it from earlier iterations by a glance is by looking at the Swiss-made text down by the 6. A text got applied when Super Luminova started its run. The Parachrome hairspring was also introduced, made of a special alloy that is resistant to magnetic fields, temperature changes and shocks, which helps to improve the accuracy and reliability of the watch. Further, the 114270 houses 18-karat white gold indices as well as a characteristic glossy dial and Mercedes hands. If you had to choose one watch, what would it be? Let me know down in the comments. My previous video was my personal and realistic 3-watch collection. Have a look and help me out with the algorithm by liking, commenting and subscribing. It is very much appreciated. The Explorer model series is the series of Rolex watches that appeal to both me and my lifestyle more than any other model line. Heritage with roots all the way back in 1953, as well as a purpose that I can relate to in some way. I also prefer 36 to 40mm watches on my 16.5cm wrists, but it depends on the style of watch. Watches that carry a functional bezel, like for example Explorer 2s, chronographs or divers, should be a fragment bigger in my opinion, while watches that are time only or perhaps include a date window as their only other complication should be smaller rather than bigger. Being somewhat slim, the 114270 feels sublime on the wrist and will match any attire, unless you are a blue and black don't match guy or girl. The watch wears a bit larger than its measured 36mm due to the lug-to-lug distance and lug width of 20mm. It's important to mention that though the end links are updated and solid, the mid links are not, so your bracelet will get tired as time takes its toll. The clasp is a well-known drawback for Rolex models produced during this period. The 114270 is no exception. The stamped clasp does give a tin-like vibe. Not as bad as I feared at first, but the new clasp might be around 7 times better. These watches are picturesque as no other. The glossy dial with the trademark Rolex glare that comes as a consequence of a lack of anti-reflective coating on the outside of the crystal. The dial and indexes are perfectly balanced, making the watch supremely legible in all conditions, if not for the glare that is. The lume is also superb. Here's my take on this enthusiast respected and highly sought after watch, before I end with my ratings. I miss a date window and dislike the clasp and hollow links. I could have lived with it if not the current Explorer 1 was the best iteration yet. But of course, it has its charm if you appreciate the personality and heritage those traits express. But that is my personal and honest opinion. The 124270 is the best Explorer 1 yet. More legible, better clasp and bracelet, as well as being more proportional with its 19mm lug spacing. It doesn't sit well with 20mm lug width on 36mm watches, in my opinion. On some watches it does, but personally I feel 19mm fits the Explorer 1 much better. To finish off today's review, here's this week's reviewers column, rated in classic IMDb style. 1. Legibility, 8 out of 10. Strong contrast, beautiful symmetry, but lack of anti-reflective coating gives you that Rolex glare, you know? 2. Functionality, 9 out of 10. As a personal preference, I enjoy a date function on my watches, but this can be incorporated in any outfit and carries a robust interior and exterior as well as being beautiful on the eye. 3. Versatility, 10 out of 10. Go anywhere, do anything, the most versatile watch there is. 4. Design, 9 out of 10. Only drawback is that I feel 20mm lug width is unproportional on this particular 36mm watch. 5. Feeling of quality, 6 out of 10. Having owned newer Rolex, Tudor and Omega watches, this falls a bit back in the line, but for good reason. Total, 8.4. The same total as the GMT Master 2 BLNR and the Tudor Pelagos 39. Interesting. Still in company with class act movies like Django Unchained and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Catch you in the next one, watch fam.